number to verify your details. Transaction details, then click the left out C. Click Invest with NGX Invest today.
Thinking of banking in Africa? Think Zenith. In today's fast-moving, fast-changing world, you need a financial partner that understands your unique expectations. A bank with presence in major financial centers across the world, with the enabling platform to facilitate seamlessly, whenever, wherever, however. A bank with best-in-class financial solutions from a superb combination of technology and human touch. For easy, fast and secure banking that creates real value. Turning dreams into reality is now in your hands. People, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. Thinking of banking in Africa? Think Zenith. In today's fast-moving, fast-changing world, you need a financial partner that understands your unique expectations. A bank with presence in major financial centers across the world, with the enabling platform to facilitate seamlessly, whenever, wherever, however. A bank with best-in-class financial solutions from a superb combination of technology and human touch for easy, fast and secure banking that creates real value. Turning dreams into reality is now in your hands. People, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Out with the old, in with the smart, fast, and efficient way to invest. Introducing NGX Invest, the revolutionary e-offering platform from Nigerian Exchange Group. With NGX Invest, accessing and subscribing to public offers and rights issue has never been easier. Invest conveniently from your smart device. It's simple. See available offers, click to select, invest in minutes. Visit invest.ngxgroup.com to get started.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We'd like to call the meeting to order now, so if you please take your seats as the proceedings begin. Good afternoon. My name is Rolake Akinkuwe-Fulani, Head of Investor Relations at Zenith Bank PLC. Before we get into the meat of today, I'd like you to please stand so we can take the national anthem. Thank you very much. It was good to see the excitement caused by the national anthem. Some very passionate and enthusiastic singing. Good afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Facts Behind the Offer ceremony at the NGX to be presented by Zenith Bank PLC. We'd like to invite you to please watch the NGX safety video and listen to the housekeeping rules for a moment before we proceed. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nigerian Exchange Group Event Center. At Nigerian Exchange Group, your comfort and safety is our priority. As part of our health and safety policy, please listen to the following announcement. For your convenience, the restrooms are located to your right, just outside the door of this event hall. In the unlikely event of an emergency, 2 exits have been provided for your use. A stairway that you can access from the lift lobby just before you enter the event center. Another emergency exit is located right behind the stage's backdrop. The door can be opened by pushing the handle. Please do not use the elevators during an emergency. Rather, locate the nearest exit from where you are sitting in a calm and orderly fashion. Emergency responders will also be available to provide additional instructions as required. Please switch off your cell phones or activate the silent function so we don't interrupt the proceedings here today. Once again, welcome, and do enjoy your stay at Nigerian Exchange Group.
Well, thank you very much. So we're going to move now to some introductions of the management teams of NGX and Zenith Bank PLC, and we'll start with our hosts here, the NGX management team. I'd like you to please give all of them a round of applause as we recognize them in succession. First, I'd like to recognize the chairman of NGX, Mr. Ahosi Inuigwe. The Group Managing Director and CEO of NGX Group, Mr. Temi Kokola. The CEO of NGX, Mr. Jude Chiemeka. The CEO of NGX Regulation, Mr. Olufemi Shobanjo. One of the distinguished doyens of the market, Alhaji Rashid Yusuf. And also from the Zenith Bank management, sorry, Doyen. I beg your pardon, the one and only Doyen of the market. Thank you very much. I'd like to move now to the Zenith Bank PLC management. First of all, a leader per excellence, as I call her, and the first female group managing director of Zenith Bank PLC, Dame Dr. Adora Umeoji, OON. Also sitting on the high table from Zenith Bank PLC is Dr. Henry Oro, Executive Director. We also have next to him Dr. Adobe Nwakwa, Executive Director, Zenith Bank PLC. And we have a member of our Board of Directors, Dr. Al-Mutaba Abubakar, Non-Executive Director. I'm also going to move on to recognize some additional names on the floor of the House. Executive Director, Zenith Bank PLC, Mr. Akin Oguranti. Executive Director, Zenith Bank PLC, Mr. Adamu Lawani. Executive Director, Zenith Bank PLC, Mr. Louis Odom. For some additional recognitions, Mr. Mohammed Garuba, Non-Executive Director, NGX Group. Dr. Farouk Umar, Non-Executive Director, NGX Group. Yes, of course. He's also a friend of Zenith Bank PLC. I think that deserves another round of applause. He's no stranger to many of us from Zenith Bank. We also have Mrs. Fiona Ahimie, Non-Executive Director, NGX Real Estate. Mr. Gabriel Igbeka, Acting CEO, NGX Real Estate. Then we have Mr. Haruna Jallo Waziri, CEO, Central Securities Clearing System, PLC. Mr. Sam Onukwe, Chairman, Ashon. Mr. Olurokwo Dada, President and Chairman of Council Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers. Mr. Tony Ibeziako, the Head of Primary Markets at NGX. We'd also like to recognize the MD of Stanbic IBTC Capital, which is our lead issuing house at Zenith Bank PLC for the offer, Mr. Oladele Shotubo. Of course, we recognize all of you in the house today, our distinguished shareholders, stockbrokers, traders, staff of Zenith, friends of Zenith. You all deserve a round of applause. And I'm sure we'll be doing additional recognitions of various parties as we go through the course of the day. Well, to get proceedings kick-started, I'd like to invite the chairman of NGX, Mr. Ahosi Nuigbe, to give his welcome address. A round of applause.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure that I welcome the Zenith Bank management team, led by Dame Adora Umoji, and all of you distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to the facts behind the offer presentation for Zenith Bank PLC today. The importance of these types of engagements cannot be overstated. They serve as a vital platform to enhance transparency and strengthen the relationship between issuers and the investment community by fostering dialogue through such forums. We ensure that the foundations of our market remain robust and resilient, paving the way for sustained market activity and continued investor confidence. Zenith Bank PLC, Nigeria's largest Tier 1 bank by capital, with a capital base of 1.8 trillion naira as of December 2023, has consistently demonstrated its relevance in the financial services landscape in our country, positioning its business for sustainable long-term growth over its 30-year history. Founded in January 1990 and listed on our exchange in 2004, the bank has continuously expanded its operations both within and beyond Nigeria. Zenith Bank PLC has demonstrated outstanding performance in recent years. Between 2019 and 2023, the bank's gross earnings grew from 0.6 trillion naira to 1.9 trillion, reflecting an impressive compound. This growth has reflected its impressive compound annual growth rate, CAGR, of 34.9%. In 2023 alone, Zenith Bank reported a profit before tax of 796 billion naira and a profit after tax of 677 billion naira, thus showcasing an increase of 179% and 202% respectively from 2022. These figures underscore the bank's robust financial health and profitability. Zenith Bank's exceptional return on equity and return on assets further solidify its position as one of the top performers in the industry, if not the top. This remarkable growth trajectory not only highlights the bank's effective management and operational efficiency, but also its ability to deliver sustained value to shareholders and stakeholders alike. As we delve into the details of this significant offer, it's essential to once again situate this discussion within the broader context of our country's dynamic financial landscape. This year has been transformative for the Nigerian banking sector, marked by substantial regulatory advancements aimed at enhancing resilience and stability of our financial institutions. A key initiative is the Central Bank of Nigeria's recapitalization program, designed to ensure greater solvency within our banks and position them to effectively support the nation's economic growth trajectory. This program aligns closely with the federal government's ambitious vision to hopefully elevate the Nigerian economy to this much talked about $1 trillion economy, and reinforcing Nigeria's standing as a premier destination for capital flows and investments. Transparency and investor confidence are the bedrock of any thriving capital market. At the Nigerian Exchange, we understand that a well-functioning market is built on trust and the free flow of information. Events like today's presentation by Zenith Bank play a crucial role in ensuring that investors have access to the facts and that they need to make informed decisions. By maintaining this high level of transparency, we not only seek to continue to foster a stronger relationship between listed entities and their investors, but also contribute to the overall stability and integrity of our capital markets. The relationship between the NGX and Zenith Bank in particular has been long-standing and mutually beneficial. We have witnessed Zenith Bank's growth and success over the years, and it has been a journey marked by shared goals and achievements of which we at the NGX are proud to see. Our partnership has been built on a foundation of trust and a shared commitment to driving economic growth and providing value to investors. We remain steadfast at the NGX in our commitment to protecting the interests of our investors through rigorous oversight, adherence to best practices, and continuous engagement with market participants. We strive to maintain that this market remains a fair, transparent one that is conducive to investment. We believe that by safeguarding investor confidence, we can ensure the sustained growth and stability of our markets. As we proceed with today's presentation, I encourage all attendees today to engage actively. Your questions and insights and contributions and perspectives are invaluable to ensuring that the offering is fully understood and appreciated by all the stakeholders. Thank you all for your presence here today and for your attention. Welcome again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hosi Nwigbe, Chairman of NGX. I think those words were very well appreciated about Zenith Bank, and of course you will hear from our Group Managing Director later in the program. And just before we move to that, I'd like to invite Mr. Temi Popola, Group Chief Executive Officer of NGX Group, to deliver his opening address. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and let me just say a very warm good afternoon to everybody again that has joined us this afternoon. As we spoke earlier with the Group CEO of Zenith Bank, she was speaking about how she doesn't like these protocols. She likes to have them done and then wants to rest on them. But I find that in my industry, sometimes you have to go a bit over and just very quickly, without hopefully not getting into trouble, identify and acknowledge a few what I think are market stalwarts that I see. We've been having several events at the exchange, of course, in this cycle. hosting several companies and banks. But I have to say that the energy here today is probably like none that I have seen in that cycle. And I see some directors of the NGX that haven't come for any of those events before. And then I see some that are actually saying they are not with NGX, but they are with Zenith Bank this time around. And I think that speaks the story itself. But I see some, market, I think, stalwarts, Chief Nwosu, Sir Boniface, and so many people who I think are very critical to our market. It would be a bit remiss not to acknowledge them and just to say a very warm good afternoon again to everybody. Now, I'm sure everyone's not gathered to listen to me, so I'll make my comments very, very brief. And it's really just to perhaps align with what the chairman NGX had said, add a bit more appreciation to Zenith Bank and the entire team that has led to today. A few weeks ago, the DG of the SEC rang me, and he said that, the Group CEO Zenith had just left his office, and they spoke about the capital raise that they had coming up, and that I should rest assured that Zenith Bank would support every single one of our initiatives, particularly technology. Of course, if you're close to the exchange, you will know that this subject of digitization and digital and technology has been very, very key to us. We've looked at this as an opportunity to digitize our capital markets, particularly primary offerings, so that, things are less paper and manual and more digital. And I think, thankfully, we've made material progress. But Zenith Bank has been a very, very strong partner to that. And I really have to acknowledge that. From the very top all the way down, we had very strong support by the bank. And I think I dare say that of all the banks who we're very thankful for, of course, every single bank that has done capital raising has consumed our digital. But Zenith Bank, I think, took that to a whole different level. I think all of the core banking applications of the bank, for example, their mobile, their web, the entire tech infrastructure of the bank has really, really been devoted to this. And I think for us, we found that very, very humbling, because it really speaks to, I think, the strength of what we've also tried to do. And I was speaking also to the Group CEO. Last week, we saw, perhaps I would not mention the figure, because she's worried that if people know that the offer is being well received, they might hold back. But I said, no, I'm sure that the market would love that even more. We had a particular day last week, well over, almost running into a couple billion nairas worth of digital transactions just through digital channels that came in there. And I think in line of that also, let me just say a very quick thank you also to many of the partners that help us have this picture come to reality. I see the CEO of CSCS here as well. Where, if you know our market, of course, everything that the exchange does, underlining that, of course, is the CSCS, and we're very thankful for the support we received from the CSCS, ably led by Mr. Jalu Waziri. Many of our market intermediaries as well, Stanbic, that I would say represents what is the best also of our capital markets. My colleagues, it's a very, very good sort of omen, as it were, for our market. They're very excited as to what those things can do. And finally, for me, I think as we speak back to the Zenith Bank story, like has been said before, Zenith and the history, I think, is very closely correlated to NGX, to the exchange, right from day one. And we really look forward to the opportunity of this offer, deepening those ties and taking that relationship and the capital market as a whole to the very next level. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Temi Popola, and we can certainly testify that one of the things that Zenith Bank and the NGX have in common is their passion for digital innovation and transformation, and we've experienced that throughout the course of getting to this point. So we've moved to the big moment here today. We're going to hear the special remarks and the facts behind the offer presentation from our Group MD and CEO at Zenith Bank PLC, Dame Dr. Adora Umeoji. Oh, and please give her a warm welcome as she comes to give her presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am so happy that Olake already established that protocol. So I plead to stand on existing protocol this afternoon. Thank you very much. I want to actually start by thanking the leadership of the NGX for graciously rescheduling this program, which was supposed to be held on the 5th of August. But they decided to do it today due to some unforeseen circumstances in the country. So I want to appreciate you and thank you very much for rescheduling it for today. In this note, I want to as well commend the management and the leadership for their creativity and innovation in digitizing the NGX and making them the best performing stock market in Africa. The newly launched digital platform is quite timely and is actually being used to facilitate most of the offer in the market today. It's actually boosting this recapitalization exercise, and we are happy to be part of it. For us in Zenith, we are fully integrated and we're already using them to offer our own offer to the public. And I must comment that it's very effective. Congratulations to that. We are here today to talk about why Zenith offer is investors' delight. The accomplishment of Zenith Bank is a story of vision and value. Today, I'm going to tell you that story of vision and value, which is why Zenith has reached to where they are today. This Zenith Bank story started in May 1990 from our visionary and indefatigable founder and chairman, Dr. Jimovia CFR, the man we call the Nostradamus of our time, because of his ability to forecast the future and predict a day like this where banks are going to be asked to raise more capital. He actually positioned the bank to be #1 in shareholders' fund with adequate capital buffers, making us to raise the least amount amongst our peers in this recapitalization exercise. His vision was to create a first-class international global brand and a very professional institution anchored on people, technology, and service, with a core aim of driving service and be able to providing premium value to all stakeholders. Let's look at Zenith's entry into the market. Zenith has had several successful entrants into the capital market. In 2004, we had our first IPO, and it was extremely successful with over 524% oversubscription. That was closely followed by another public offer, which we had in 2006, which was equally oversubscribed. Then in 2007, we had a combination offer of public offer and rights issue, and it was oversubscribed by 495%. We then went into the market to raise Eurobond of $1 billion, and it was fully redeemed, and it was successful in 2022. One point I must emphasize is that it's quite pertinent to note that throughout all this outing we had in the capital market, our original color red did not change. Our logo did not change. Our culture did not change. Our name did not change. Our brand did not change. We remained undiluted, and we grew exponentially and became the strongest amongst our peers. This is because of the solid foundation and strong corporate governance laid by our founding father, the godfather of modern banking, Dr. Jimovia. We cannot thank him enough for this strong foundation. We will continue to ride on this legacy as we run this institution professionally to outlive generations to come. Let's look at some facts behind our offer. It may interest you to know that as of December 31st, 2023, Zenith Bank Tier 1 capital was 1.9 trillion naira, being the highest in the Nigerian banking industry. Our shareholders' funds stood at 2.3 trillion naira, being the highest again in the Nigerian banking industry. We recorded a market capitalization of 1.3 trillion, also the highest in the Nigerian banking industry. Our PBT stood at 796 billion, also the highest in the Nigerian banking industry. That actually made us the most profitable bank in Nigeria. This one I'm sure you guys will like. We paid a dividend of 4 naira per share, which is the biggest, which is the highest. Dividend of 4 naira per share, which is the highest paid by any bank in Nigeria. And this trend of being the highest paid dividend bank has been sustained for the past 5 years. Another point to note is that this dividend payout is actually from our organic profit without FX revaluation gain. This shows the room and our ability to actually pay dividends organically without devaluation gain. No FX devaluation gain here. So we can actually pay more. We just paid just 25%. So the room and the gap is there to pay more to our shareholders. Our total deposit liabilities stood at 15.2 trillion naira, placing us among the top 3 banks in Nigeria. We recorded the largest loan portfolio of 7.1 trillion naira, and yet our NPL stood at 4.4%, which is below industry average. This shows our solid risk management capacity. The total asset of the bank stood at 20.4 trillion naira. We have a network of 447 branches and cash centers, as well as 2,100 ATM across Nigeria and other countries. We have leverage on our hood network of agents to take banking services to the unserved and underserved community to consolidate our financial inclusion strategy. These achievements and more have encouraged us to expand our footprints in Africa, Europe, China, and United Arab Emirates. Our investment in our people, technology, and service has transformed us into a global brand, placing us among the top 10 in Africa and the best in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to look at the chart below, the chart you're looking at now. When I say we are number 1, it is backed by facts and figures. We are the number 1 in Tier 1 capital. We are the number 1 in shareholders fund. We are the number 1 in market capitalization. We are the number 1 in profit after tax. Now we are the number 1 in dividend payout. And we have a strong capital adequacy ratio and customer retention. Zenith Bank is the best customer service delivery and customer engagement bank. We will continue to improve and leverage on all these successes. As you can see on the slide above, we are number 1 in all areas. What else can you ask? Zenith Bank has also won numerous awards. The most recent ones is the number 1 bank in Nigeria by Tier 1 Capital by Financial Times. This award we have won for 15 consecutive times. We have also won an award as the best commercial bank in Nigeria by World Finance Magazine, and also the best bank in Nigeria 2024 by Global Finance. Amongst Nigerian banks, Zenith Bank and one other Nigerian bank has the highest international rating. You can figure out which one. It's just one other bank. I don't know which one it is. We will strive to improve on our rating through our globalization strategies. Our corporate culture is critical to our success. We have a solid board and management comprising of individuals from diverse skills, discipline, and professional experiences. The executive team of the bank has an average of 30 years cognate banking experience, all from Zenith Bank, and all rose through the ranks. We pride ourselves in being a gender-inclusive organization with a 31% female representation on the board and with 50-50 representation male to female ratio of our workforce. I am really honored to inform you that we have had 5 different CEOs in the bank, with my humble self as the first group managing director of the bank. I am the first female group managing director of Zenith Bank. We are not just talking about being the first female group managing director, the first female group managing director of the best performing bank in Nigeria. This shows that it's possible for the girl child. All these transitions were seamless and a clear testament of our solid succession planning. Our dominant footprint in Nigeria, West Africa, and our international network presents exciting growth opportunities for us. We currently have subsidiaries and representative offices in Ghana, Sierra Leone, Gambia, UK, UAE, and China. And we recently obtained a license to open up our Paris branch. We are going to leverage on this Paris branch to consolidate most of our businesses in the Francophone African countries, starting from Cameroon and Côte d'Ivoire. It is very pertinent to note that all these subsidiaries are making profits and contributing to the growth of the group. All the subsidiaries we have, they are making almost 20% profits, and this is impacting on the bottom line and adding value to the growth performance of Zenith Bank. Our expansion strategy is following our customers' businesses, and we are looking at going to countries where we have strong potential for growth. Our fintech subsidiary, Zenpay, has recently signed an agreement with African Continental Free Trade Area for the development of Smart After, a digital trade portal positioned to revolutionize Pan-African trade. The trade agreement will help us dominate trade in entire African countries. This agreement we signed is the one that's going to make us and push us ahead of trade businesses in the entire African nation. Technology has been one of our tripods as a bank. We have completed overhauling of our IT infrastructure with the best-in-class and robust technology that will improve our processes and services across all our business verticals. We have completed several modules of this IT infrastructure and will be going live in our core banking application very soon. Our fintech subsidiary, Zenpay, is a comprehensive digital payment solution platform. It's set to revolutionize the financial service landscape in the entire globe. Our loan portfolio is well diversified across upstream oil and gas, trade, manufacturing, public sector, and other key sectors of the economy, thereby spreading our risk and increasing value for all shareholders. The corporate arm of our business remains very integral to our success, contributing 58% to the group's revenue, and while the retail segment of the market contributes 42%. Our partnership with international financial institutions has improved our capacity to provide support to the critical sectors of the economy, especially with the SME and retail segment of the market. Trade finance is a critical component in our business. We control 25% of imports in Nigeria and then 40% of exports in Nigeria. In terms of retail businesses, our retail drive and financial inclusion strategy has resulted in significant increase in our customer base. We grew from 5 million to 33 million customers in a period of 5 years. We will continue to leverage on this growth using our robust digital platforms. The bank's revenue from retail business has recorded very significant growth over the years. In addition, we will continue to drive this retail through our digital banking channels, ATM, POS machines, and using the agents to be able to scale up the retail and the SME segment of the market. Zenith is committed to the tenets of ESG. We are an environmental-friendly bank, and we encourage our customers to adopt ESG practices in all their business operations. Cost saving is on the front burner for us as a bank, and we have started to use alternative energy like solar and CNG generators to power all our ATMs and some of these branches to enable us to save costs. We have reduced our carbon footprint by cutting down our greenhouse emission using other sources of renewable energies to actually carry out our businesses. As a bank, we also incorporate sustainability practices in all our credit processes. Zenith Bank is a very futuristic institution that values the loyalty of its existing shareholders. And we also equally are a very responsive bank to the yearnings of the existing shareholders and prospective investors that want to be part of this bank's success story. Because of this value and this loyalty that we've had with our existing shareholders over the years, and because a lot of prospective investors are clamoring to be part of this success story of Zenith, we decided to have a combined offering of public offer and rights issue to be able to accommodate these two groups. We are offering approximately 5.23 billion units of shares of 50 kobo each at 36 naira per share to our existing shareholders through a rights issue of 1 new share for every 6 held. We are also offering 2.77 billion ordinary shares of 50 kobo each at 36 naira 50 kobo per share to the public through a public offering. We are very conscious of not diluting our existing shareholding structure, which is why we are offering 65% to our existing shareholder and 35% to the public, making it a total of 8 billion shares we are issuing in the offer. We are very confident that after the ongoing recapitalization process, the bank will experience exponential growth and shareholders will get better returns for their investments. For the use of the proceeds, Zenith Bank has a track record of applying their proceeds and utilization of such proceeds very effectively. 35% of the proceeds is going to be used for the strategic expansion, increasing our footprints in Africa and other parts of the world, while 20% will be used to enhance our IT infrastructure and digital capabilities. The remaining 45% is going to be used for the working capital to support the real sector of the economy with the focus on SME and retail segments of the business. Because we know this offer is very important and critical to us, to ensure the success of this offer, we have decided to engage some of the best transaction partners, such as Stanbic IBTC Capital, Quantum Zenith, Cardinal Stone, Chapel Hill Durham, Coronation Capital, Meristem Capital, and Vetiva. This offer opened 1st of August and we closed September 9th, 2024. Investors can purchase our shares through the NGX platform, through any Zenith Bank, through our own Zenith Bank digital platforms, and by walking into any of our branches. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, distinguished capital market stakeholders, let me reiterate again why you should invest in Zenith Bank. Our historical and current financial performance, as well as our prospects, provides a compelling reason why you should invest in Zenith Bank. Zenith Bank is not just number one in all their scorecard, in all their financial balance sheet statement today. Zenith Bank is the only bank that has the best financial results in the Nigerian banking industry. Zenith Bank has the best corporate governance culture. Zenith Bank has the best customer engagement and service delivery. Zenith Bank has the best risk management practices. Zenith Bank has the best board management and staff. Zenith Bank is an environmentally friendly bank. Zenith Bank is the most profitable bank in Nigeria. Zenith Bank is the highest paying dividend in the entire Nigerian banking industry. You will therefore agree with me that Zenith Bank's offer is truly investors' delight. Ladies and gentlemen, invest in value, invest in Zenith. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that deserves an even more rousing round of applause. Thank you very much, Group Managing Director, CEO, Zenith Bank, PLC, Dame Dr. Dora Umelji, OON. That was formidable. I think you heard all the description of the formidable force and strength of Zenith Bank. And you know, they always say the proof is in the pudding. Yes, and we saw the numbers there on screen. It's D-Day for Zenith Bank, and it's a great era and a great season to be in this industry, I tell you very much. Another round of applause. Before we move on to the Q&A, I'd like to recognize the second doyen of the market, Mr. Sam Indata, who's here. Please, a round of applause for him. He's actually been here since the very beginning. Thank you very much for being with us, sir. Thank you. So we're going to move on to the Q&A, and the way we're going to do this is we're going to take questions in groups of threes in the interest of time and to make this as efficient as possible so we can move quickly. And the questions will then be thrown to our management team led by the Group MD on the high table. So I believe we have mics roaming around with our ushers, the lady in the red shirt, and some at the back there as well. So please, when you do ask your question, do let us know who you are, your name and affiliation, and please, as much as possible, do try and keep your questions concise. So we'll start with our first group of 3 questions. Thank you very much. I can see Dr. Farouk's hand here, please. Thank you.
All protocol observed. My name is Dr. Farouk Umar, President Association for the Advancement of the Rights of Nigerian Shareholders, and also a director with the NGX Limited. I'm also on the board of one of the merchant banks. Since early 1990, we became shareholders of Zenith Bank. And one thing the CEO has not even told you, which I really appreciate about Zenith Bank, is that since the listing, there was no 1 year that the dividend was lower than the previous year. And we appreciate this because it has shown us the growth. Then secondly, he spoke to us today about succession planning. And we are very happy also to say that of all the banks, Zenith has always picked the succession from within. And again, it encourages the staff to stay longer in the organization. And we have to commend Ovia. Ladies and gentlemen, he started this bank with only 20 million naira. And look at what it is today. If the likes of Ovia will be governors or presidents of this country, what do you expect will happen? And you look at the composition of the board, independent directors, and if you look at the annual accounts and you see the CVs of each of their executive and non-executive directors, they are people who are experienced, qualified. Since there are other people to speak, I want to make the last point Today, the world, if you want to progress, you must invest in IT. And this bank has invested $100 million in IT as of today. Just a few days ago, banks applied to get Forex from CBN. Some banks were disqualified. I'm happy to say that Greenwich succeeded. We were not disqualified. But why did Zenith got the highest volume? Because of IT. And I think we commend you for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Farouk Umar, indeed, a real friend of the house. I feel like you should be on this side of the room, sir. Thank you very much. So we'll take more questions from the floor, please. This gentleman here. Okay, I'll come to you, sir, after this.
I stand on existing protocol. My name is Okezie Boniface. Group MD, we welcome you for coming here today to showcase the strength of the bank. I know you have enough red blood on Zenith to be able to withstand the shock in the Nigerian market as you see today. But my worry and challenge is that everybody is rushing to the market at the same time to raise 500 billion. But that is not applied to Zenith Bank. We're just raising minor to add what we have already there. It's because like CBN wanted the physical cash. Otherwise, if we're talking about book building and book entering, we reserve any returning, which is home and drive, not even worrying anybody to come into market to raise fresh cash, and that's the truth, the fact. Like Andy pointed out today, the bank has still been a strong bank in Nigeria in terms of higher dividend payout to shareholders. We can testify to that as a testimony. To collaborate with Andy have said all fact is verifiable. The bank have been friendly to every stakeholders. I'm a customer of the bank as well as shareholder, so I wear two caps. I branch at Awolowo, one of the good branch, and their staff are friendly. When you walk in there, during the crisis, when there's sketched up Naira, when I walked in there, people will be killed, Every staff even know me, maybe not by name, but they know that I belong to a shareholder of that bank. So when people complain, I stand and speak, because we are either the bank. Them they cannot be everywhere. And if you're a stakeholder, strong as we are, they're vibrant, you need to also checkmate that manager and call his attention. What's going on? And they run and attend to customers. That tells you how they respect a stakeholder. That's the staff of Zenith Bank. Even to the gate man, when you walked along the just you want to go in there to park, go into the banking hall, they will salute, they knows me. Not even my name, So that tells you how friendly they are, and make sure that we are all stakeholders. They give you that respect. That must be respect. I want to say indeed that the offering you're giving today is just an amazing price to any stakeholder to invest in Zenith Bank. We have that reward. But my fear, let me ask, in terms of volume of share today, are we going to continue in this trajectory, paying higher dividend? Or is it going to shrink? Because what you pay is a number of shares on issues, not a number of shareholders you have on number of shares. Are we going to have reduction on dividend? Or are we going to have more increase on dividend payout? It's very, very important, MD. Because CBN today, the regulators, are also creating more problem for you. They ask of tax windfall, whatever, from the FS, Because this is Farouk was talking about giving you because of IT. I know that those things does not come without a cost for CBN to give you foreign, So when you do that as an organization, as a company, and the government want to take the chunk of profit you are making from that aspect, including income, because I hope the 0.5% collectible on profit after tax from income that already should have wound up, they're still there. and like a bed bug on the flesh of every bank today. We cannot end up working for an income to detriment of shareholders. We must give others affirmative that yes, the dividend must be going to be increased than what you are having today. Because if we put these two bodies together, the parasite, the government side and CBN, we cannot argue with them when you say jack the DBT account. With the income, which is not given approval by shareholder. I know your remunerations or salary of the board non-executive here is being approved by shareholders at AGM, including the external auditors. But that of AMCON, who approved it? It is not by the board. It is not by shareholder of the company. You're a private company, and that's what Zenith Bank is doing very well. Owner's business. But as that, you are working for the government as if the banks are parasitic to the federal government through the arm of CBN. So that is my problem with the banks today. Are we going to have a buyback to reduce the quantum of shares we have? Instead of reconstruction, are we going to have a share buyback from their profit or reserve?
Thank you.
That's my question, Mr.
Thank you very much, sir. So we'll just take one more from you, sir. Yes, please, before we come to the high table.
Good afternoon. My name is Chief Timothy Adishio. I'm a shareholder of Zenith Bank and a customer of Ladipo Uluwole branch, Ikeja. Ask of me. From any of them, they know me and they know the shareholders. I appreciate the efforts of the staff, management, and the board of Zenith and what they have been doing over the years. What I appreciate much in it is that we have a Godfather that never sleeps. And we are the only bank as of today that has a core investor that looks after the progress of the bank 24/7. And if any staff tries to misbehave, you just tell him or her that this matter will escalate to the hearing of Jim Ovia, CFR, the godfather of the bank. That matter will settle there. And that is the thing. We shareholders don't just buy into any stock or into any bank. What we watch is the integrity of the people running the bank. We are satisfied with how Zenith Bank is being run over the years, and we appreciate the fact that our core investor, godfather of modern banking, Jim Ovia CFR, does not chew what he cannot swallow. So over the years, when the other people were rushing to acquire banks, our own godfather just concentrated on developing his own bank. And the result of it is what we have today, first everywhere. First everywhere. And we appreciate that he has been grooming the staff within the bank to attain any available high post in front of them. This I mean by succession planning. The succession planning has been super and has been encouraging. And anybody who wants to make a career should find his way to Zenith Bank. And that is the pride of the bank. I appreciate the fact that the bank paid the 4 Naira dividend, which was the highest in the industry last year. And summarily, I want to tell you that we shareholders just don't buy into any stock. We are jittery of banks that will eventually do reconstruction or likely even reduce our holdings anywhere. So the bank, Zenith Bank, forward ever, backward never. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief Timothy Adesina, Mr. Boniface as well, and of course, Dr. Farouk. We'll take from Mr. Nwosu just one more question. He's one of... Oh, yes, I remember the second line of the floor also wanted to take a question. So maybe we can just do Mr. Nwosu, who has a mic, and then we'll come to you, sir. Sorry about that, sir.
My name is Sonny Nwosu.
Sir Nwosu.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You see, in this life, blood is very, very important. And Zenith has chosen red as blood. And it's very important. I'm standing on all the aspect of the presentation of the MD, the GMD of Stock Exchange, and all others that have spoken. I'm standing on whatever. And you heard that what is more important to shareholders. I have been practicing in the last 52 years. And therefore, it is very important for Zenith to note that we hate what Boniface called right sizing. I call it right sizing in some cases. We hate it. You don't take money from us, and in the future, you ask us that you want to devalue our shares, you want to split it, and you want to do this because it's many reconstruction. So that is why it's very important for management and board to think properly before coming out. But as I have said, Jim has a very good vision. You can see all the ladies here, they are almost being a Chinese ladies. So, yeah, that is, you see, but in our own case, the Chinese differs. Our own case, they are beautiful ladies. And we have a good company secretary that always ensures that he gets all the shareholders involved to an AGM, which is very important. And it is very, very important that I want to tell the MD that a lot is expected of you. This offer will be oversubscribed as usual in the past. And therefore, you must make judicial use of the money that we are going to contribute. Because all of us will be contributing from our sweat to support Zenith. Because like I said, blood is very important in the body. And Zenith shares is very important to us. And therefore, we make sure that we buy into the right or the offer. But definitely, those that never had the shares will go for the offer. But those that had the shares before will go for the right and more. So make sure that the right is right. And anybody asking for more, you must go into the routine of making sure that they get from those who denounce their right. I am sure the company secretary is an able person, and the stock exchange is watching. So, and they cannot do otherwise but to do the right thing. So, like Temi is Temi for all of us. Because in Yoruba language, when you call somebody Temi, it means it's yours. It's for all of us, and he must make sure that whatever he's going to do must be the right thing. You see, I'm not mistaken using Yoruba knowledge, because I've been in Yoruba land for almost 73 years. I was born and bred here, married them here. So definitely, there is no way I can wash off that. So there is no way I can erase that from my body. Definitely, as an Igbo man, I will still be looking at Igbo adage and Yoruba adage to blend it. So I want to congratulate you for being the first woman managing director of Zenith. You know, as a woman, you must remember that we must eat from time to time. And don't compare the dividend of last year with the dividend you are going to pay now. So let me tell you one thing. I was very catchy when the CFO made an analysis of the present position of the bank. It gave me a sense of belonging that I should buy more into Zenith so as to be able to use whatever is coming from there to take care of myself at old age or at retirement, because I am retiring already. I'm retired already. At 73, what else am I looking for other than to count whatever blessings that God has given me that is coming? When I was young, if you ask Alaji, the Doyen, he knows me very well. When I was young, I can jump from here to there. But now I cannot do those things. So I should be depending on whatever is coming from my investment. So please do not disappoint us. We are solidly behind Zenith Bank, and we don't want any shock that will be a sign of disappointment to us. So the dividend you are going to pay this year must be more than last year's dividend. Because you see, since we are not protesting, it shows very well that we need more money so that we do not protest. If I go there to protest, Yoruba people said, "Ento lese onsare," and therefore, I'll just be sitting down to await whatever is coming my way. So I wish you best of luck, and to tell you that we shall buy into Zenith Bank and be oversubscribed.
Thank you very much, Sir Nwosu. I think we'll take the final question from Mr. Simon Datha, and then we'll come to our GMD to respond.
Thank you very much. Mine is not a question, it's just I want to commend Zenith and his team for what they are doing over the years. I think when they came first for their first offering, I was here, and people were saying it will not be fully subscribed. And it was fully subscribed and oversubscribed. They came again, and they are fully subscribed, and they made the requirement of what they have come to the market to do. I think if, as we're applauding Zenith, we should also applaud the brokers. Because it is when you are close to a person that you know the type of perfume the person wears. If you are not close, you will not know. Yes, we have been close to Zenith, and we'll say over the years, they have done what they say they will do. We are happy, and you see that this hall is full to capacity today because we know who is coming. And I'm not surprised to say that Zenith is coming on this date, because they say the big masquerade comes last. I see the Zenith as the big masquerade we have in the banking sector, and they have proved it from what you have heard. And I'm only telling the big madam today. Others have come and they have done it. You can't say you're a human and you will not keep to that height. We are saying you must make it. And I'm adding my voice to those who say that this issue will be subscribed because you have done it before. I don't see why you will not do it, because this food has been tested, and nobody will say that I will not take it. And to say the final this thing, no matter how title is, it will be carried with two hands. Boniface and Nwosu. Well, this is the Brokers Forum and the press. If I say, come and eat, you wash two hands. Me that has the food, how many hands will I wash? Will I bath? Please, if you come, I was here when Asalu was alive. He will come, he will witness, and he will even want to beg the brokers, can I make a comment or say something? But not that you will want to hijack and say everything. This is not shareholders meeting, but this brokers forum. Why it's not because. Let's begin to be resting because in a peaceful place, nobody bring Jacob hand instead of Esau. Very much.
So we'll have our group managing director respond before we come back to the floor for another round of questions. So I'm going to give the opportunity to our group managing director to respond across the 4 or 5 different commentators that we've had.
Thank you very much for all the questions. I know in my presentation I addressed some of them, but since I have my directors here present with me, I'm going to call on our Executive Director, Henry, to take one of the questions, and then the rest of the directors, too, will take the other ones. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. I would like to thank all of us, especially we had about 5, 6 questions or comments, and I rather take them as comments and as compliments, isn't it? So we'd like to thank you for your confidence in the brand. Our Group MD CEO has very clearly, ably, and articulately outlined the vision of the bank, the story of the bank, and where we are going to. And it's very clear. Just to put a little context to this story, you know, when we started in the early 90s, barely under 7 years, we have grown to become one of the leading banks. So Zenith Bank really had a very short infant life. By the time we were 10, we were clearly a leader in the market. And since then, for 20 years, we have not looked back in terms of the KPIs our Group MD has rolled out. And that includes consistency in payment of dividend, consistency in growing our profitability. In all the major KPIs, we never looked back. And indeed, like we always say, we like to acknowledge and give this tribute to our chairman and founder, Jim Ovia, CFRO, who gave us this DNA. A lot of people ask, what is the secret behind this success, this consistency in your performance? It's in our brand. It's in our DNA. People, technology, and what? Service. Zenith Bank in your best what? Interest. That cliche, I believe when we look back the last 34 years, our performance, our history, and our achievement have been a clear validation of that creed. In your best what? Interest, whether as a shareholder or as a customer. Now, I think the major question here today was around dividend payment. And I think it was Boniface that was like, our volume of shares, how with the dilution, are we still able to pay dividend, same level of dividend going forward? Is there a plan to do a share buyback? And thankfully, Sir Sonny Wonsu had a different opinion. Let me tell you, we don't have to do a share buyback to pay higher dividend, not Zenith. That I can tell you. If you look at our dividend payout in last year, full year 2023, our PBT was 796 billion. Our PAT was about 676 billion. Our dividend payout was less than 130 billion, and that was about 25% of our PAT. What it means is that we could have paid 8 naira per share and still will not shake. And that is worthy to note. All right? I'd like to borrow the words of Sam. You know, if you look at, he said, Zenith Bank is the big masquerade. Do I agree with that? Yeah. In our banking industry? And the lion, the proverbial lion, who is the proverbial king of the jungle, he once said that no matter the economy of the jungle, I will not eat grass. And that is not arrogance, that is who I am. Likewise, I dare tell you, Zenith Bank, the lion in our industry, no matter the economy of the jungle we are playing in, no matter the headwinds, our shareholders will not eat grass. And that is not a statement out of arrogance. It's a declaration of who we are. We know who we are. Our people, our technology, and our infrastructure, the DNA. That is why we invite you today, whoever you are, just come and invest in this value multiplier. Mobilize all your resources and take all your full shares, your full right issues, and invest heavily in the public offer. And join this heavy train that will multiply your value moving forward, and let's grow together. So that is it. That's the promise that our CEO has given. That's the promise the entire ESCO is behind. We will not do any share buyback. Every year, like it's been said, we will continue to pay you more and more dividend. No
Thank
shaking.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And that is because we'll continue to increase in our profitability. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard from some members of the Zenith Bank Dream Team, ably supporting the Group Managing Director CEO. So we have some time for another round of questions now. So I'd like to start here in front with this lady, and I'll come to the gentleman in the back afterwards. And then the gentleman right there. Thank you. Please, we need a mic up here very quickly.
My name is Mrs. Bisi Bakari, chairholder. Much has been said by the earlier speaker. I listened to the GMD. You've said it all. All the questions, like my Oga said there, that all questions has already been answered by you. But the only thing I want to add is that in case of oversubscription, what happened? Are you going to absorb everything, or you keep our money for 2 or 3 months? We want assurance from you, because we don't want you to return our money. We want you to absorb everything. Secondly, I want to join my daddy here, Sir Sonny Nwosu, that we are going to take all our rights. And I know that the offer is going to be successful. I have the assurance that the offer of Zenith Bank is going to be oversubscribed. So on that note, I'm asking you, madam, that in case of oversubscription, what happened? Because we don't want you to return our money. We want to be getting the dividend, the higher dividend you will be giving to us every year. Please don't return our money. Thank you and very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Bakari. We'll come to the gentleman in the back now, please. Thank you.
The management team from Zenith and senior members of NGX. For the records, my name's Nona Ao. First, let me say that this is the second missionary journey for me in the last 30 days. Because I was also at a section that you organized, though not facts behind the figures, Capital Market Day. But one of my major takeaway today is the fact that I've had 4 men attend this trading floor and did a presentation on their offers. When I mean their offers, Zenith Bank offers. But I didn't know that the lady would be a better toaster than the men. But I tried to look for answer where she learned all the toasting style. I was told that you stayed longer in Abuja than you stayed in Lagos. I hope the politicians didn't teach you how to toast. By the time you finish the offer, and I think it's something that we all need to understand, because all of this is about the future. And I did look at the screen again for the second time as to where you hope to deploy the money. And one of the locations that monies will be deployed to has to do with branch expansion. Post-offer, 18 months after, so in 2025 accounts, what size of profit are you hoping will come from non-Nigerian banking or non-Nigerian operation? And because the reason I ask this is what, again, had been mentioned, but on the surface. If you're going to have to pay FX gain tax to government, and I'm also hoping that government will not get to the point where they will take the first daughters of all MDs of the bank, whether they want it or not. By today's position, should government implement that, and hoping that the president will not sign, what is the size of monies that will be leaving your coffer to go into the federal government account? This is important because quite a number of persons are also worried. Oh, if the bank will borrow from international community to help businesses grow here, and when they then make profit on those and they have to pay tax in the manner in which it's being proposed, that can be a source of concern. So I'll be interested as to what that size will be and to what extent that is likely to affect your activity. And the reason I also ask that, strangely, literally all of the executive of NGX that have been here have said, whether we want it or not, that you are a good buy. So they also have put in a mark that we must buy on you. So that if it doesn't go that way, we also know how to hold them. That's basically what I'm asking. And I want to note the fact that on the closing note, I hear Henry talk about they had a short period in infancy. But what will you expect if you took infant formula in addition to breast milk early in life? So some of us are not surprised. Like I said on the final note, which other major leg of your business are you hoping that will bring bigger benefits and by extension dividend that you have promised again 2025 and beyond? Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Much, Mr. Nonao. There's a gentleman right there in the bank and the gentleman up here in yellow. Those will be the last two for this round before we come to the high table. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Madam. Okay. My name is Udume Festus. I work with Financial Edge. I must confess that the GMD of Zenith Bank really, she went beyond our expectations. Some of us are sitting back here by our presentation. Now, my question is that she talked about a lot of milestones that the bank has achieved, and in the course, they never changed their color, which was red. And in the dividend too did not change, and some of the indicators she gave did not also change. I want to ask, post this offer, after the offer, are we still going to have Zenith Bank PLC, or are we going to have a Zenith Bank holding company? Because you talk about some of your activities of your subsidiaries. So I want you to talk more about that aspect.
Thank you very much, Mr. Festus. And I think we have one more question from this round.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Erin Folami Gafao, the youngest shareholder. Let me start from what we have here. We are dealing with facts behind the offer, our right issue and public offer. So the Doyen mentioned that this forum is for the stockbrokers and not shareholders. I want to correct that with all due respect. This right issue is for shareholders, and you're also trying to attract other shareholders. You may be agents. You are broking between the buyer and the seller. So it's for every one of us. So thank you so much. So in your opening, you introduced some people, the MD and others, but you did not introduce somebody that is very important to us, which is the company secretary, Mr. Michael Otu. So I recognize you, sir. So I want to also commend the price at which we are offering, because in the banking industry, you have 5 and 6, Zenith Bank and another bank that I don't want to mention. So your own price is somehow cheaper, I live by around 8 naira. So and I believe it will be fully subscribed based on your track record. They want to know your strategies, globalization strategies, to help improve the rating of the bank more. Then, what are the plans in place to improve our information technology? At times when you go to some of the branches, the system will be down. So what are we doing to reduce this system downtime and so also to improve on customer service delivery? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gaffa. I think that's the final round of questions we can take for today's event because we've run out of time. So I'll now hand over to our Group Managing Director to please respond or delegate as she deems fit. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for all your questions. The first question came from the lady there, my very good friend. She's always smiling. Very good shareholder. You asked about oversubscription. You know, we are being regulated, and SEC should be the one to determine what will happen to oversubscription, not us. Left for us, we will take everything. But it depends on what SEC wants and what the rule says. So we are going to abide by SEC regulations. Thank you on that. And then let me take the second question. We have Akin and ED in the house, so he will address the second question. Then the third one, we'll give Adobe here. She will take it as well. And then the CFO will take the dilution and globalization question. Thank you.
Okay, so can we get a mic up here for Mr. Akin Ogunranti, please?
Louis, Aki, you're taking the expansion, the one, Nanawu, yes, what to do with the money and the profits coming from Nigerian operations because of tax gains.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Standing on all existing protocols, responding to the concerns around the branch network or branching out strategy that we have and some of the implications of the tax windfall, which is one of the things that Mr. Nonawo spoke to. I think one of the first question he asked is, what's the percentage of the contribution of the subsidiaries to our performance? And I dare say it's just about 20%. And the truth of the matter is, as part of the presentation of our group managing director, it was clearly stated that we didn't actually pay any dividends from the profits made from our foreign exchange earnings, which is responsible for the revaluation gains that was spoken to. The other issue is what will be the what other lines of businesses do we expect to generate revenues from to be able to sustain the dividend payments? One of the things that we have put in place, and I think my GMD did speak to that, we have a fintech subsidiary, which we have just set up. So it's going to effectively compete in the market with other fintechs and also be a major revenue generator for the bank. And from the proceeds of the profits that will be made by this fintech, in addition to our core banking business, which we have excelled at over the years, we believe that being able to generate the sufficient revenues to be able to meet the expectations of our shareholders and all stakeholders in terms of profitability and in terms of being able to pay the dividend, it's a given. So for us, we really are not perturbed by whatever the challenges of the operating environment is. We have operated in this environment in the last 34 years. we've been the ups and we've seen the downs. There's none that comes our way that we're not able to effectively surmount. We know how to adapt to the environment, and in all challenges, what we see in Zenith Bank are opportunities. And that's what we continue to see as a team, led by our indefatigable Amazon, who has also been one of the leaders of the bank over the last 26 years. I have absolutely no doubts in my mind that we'll do exceedingly great even this year. And even, though we can't speak to it yet, seeing what we have been doing from the beginning of this year, I can assure the shareholders that you need have no fear. We will certainly even pay more dividend. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So Adeshino actually mentioned that, yes, when he walks into a brand, they know he's the one. Sanwo-Osu Okezie also mentioned that they know him at Awolowo Road. That's what we do. It's not just for them because they're shareholders or stakeholders of Zenith. It's because they're customers. And we serve everybody the same way. There's no discrimination. We're using our digital channels, to serve our customers. We have what we call Ziva 2.0. That's what we use to check downtime. We have WhatsApp. We have so many channels on our platform. And I just want to tell everybody, Henry talked about DNA, and this was just given to us by our founder and chairman, Dr. Jimovia, CFR. Customer service is in our DNA. That's what we do. What we do is to serve our customers, and we're doing a lot in that regard. Let me also use the opportunity to say that anybody in Zenith, any staff in Zenith that is found wanting in this, of course, we know what to do. That person will be sanctioned. So for us, customer service is the hallmark of Zenith Bank. And we are proud to say today that amongst all the other banks, I think we'll rank #1 in terms of customer service. Thank you. Thank you very much, Idi Adobe. Okay.
Thank you very much, GMD. Good afternoon. The GMD said I should speak on dilution and globalization. Okay, so on dilution, I know a lot of our shareholders, esteemed shareholders, have been very concerned, and also the market participants. After raising all these shares, we are going to increase the number of shares we have. Are we able to sustain our dividend? So let's just do currently our shares in issue. We have about 31.3. Let's approximate to 32 billion units. We are offering combined of 8 billion units. That makes it 40. If we are going to, last year we paid 4 naira total. If we are going to pay the same 4 naira, then that is 160 billion naira shares, dividend. I'm not saying, assuming we are going to pay 5 naira, that is 200 billion naira. Assuming we are going to pay 6 naira, that is 240 billion naira. We published our Q1 results with PBT of 330 billion. If we do the same for Q2, the same, assuming we have not grown, but I know we are growing, we are going to have like 600 approximately. If we do the same thing times 4, we are going to have maybe 1.2 trillion. So if we take out maybe quarter of it, or 30% of it as tax, then we are still going to end around 600-700 billion. And then even at 6 naira, we're looking at 240 billion. That is far, far, far lower than what we are having. So for our esteemed shareholders and market participants, be rest assured that we don't have any plans to cut our dividends. We have the capacity, the ability, and the willingness of management to reward our shareholders with very good dividend. And they say I should speak about our global expansion. As part of our strategy to increase the pie, to bring in more resources into our business to grow, we are pursuing expansion through France. We have license to operate in France. We are aggressively chasing some operations, acquisitions of fresh license in other countries, Francophone West Africa, and some other countries. But I also have to remind all our shareholders and market participants that in Zenith Bank, we are very careful and cautious in our expansion strategy. We do not set up operations in other locations and run them for 5-10 years before we start making profit. No. We look at places that we can go with good solution, specific solution, and start getting results for our shareholders almost immediately or within the shortest possible time. So these expansions that we are pursuing would definitely add to the numbers that I've just read out to you. So be rest assured, our expansion effort is going to grow the business. It's not going to reduce. It's not going to take away from the business. Then also, shareholders express some concerns about, are we going to do split? Are we going to do bonus? Are we going to do share buyback? I think if you have monitored Zenith Bank over our existence, one thing that you can know we do, we are very simple. We have simplicity in our structure. We do things very simple. We don't engage in complex things around our share structures. We do it in a very simple way. In a way that each of our shareholders, you do not need calculator to calculate what you get. On top of your head, you can easily analyze Zenith and say, if I buy into Zenith, this is what I can get. It's that simple. So we keep it that simple. It has given us the results. We'll continue doing like that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CFO Mukhtar Adam. Thank you very much, GMD Bank.
Thank you very much. He just alluded the fact that our stock price is heavily discounted. The share price we are going at now is heavily discounted. So if you invest in it, you're sure of getting great returns for your investments. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Another round of applause for our Group Managing Director, as well as the Zenith Bank management team. And thank you all very much for your questions and your comments. We're going to move on now swiftly as we look to wrap up the program. I'd like to invite the CEO of NGX, Mr. Jude Chiemeka, to give his market readiness remarks. Thank you. A round of applause for him as he comes up.
Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I do recognize that we started this program shortly after trading, so I won't take much of your time. But the Doen if you permit me to just stand on already established protocol. In terms of Zenith Bank, it's important to point out that Zenith Bank is listed on our premium board. What does that really mean? So these are companies that have the highest level of corporate governance. So sustainability of all the various firsts we've heard is not an issue. So it's not a flight by night, even looking at the pedigree of the leadership that they have. But at the NGS, we take companies that are listed on that board very seriously, not because they pay more listing fees, but largely because these are the companies that really speak to the integrity of our markets and what really the market stands for. And these are the companies that bring in international investors into our market. So there's really no international investor looking to invest in Nigeria that will not be looking for a Zenith Bank, for instance. So if we talk about the market readiness in terms of, is the NGX a viable platform? So many offers, a lot of offers going on. It's important to also point out that the NGX is a multi-asset exchange. It's not just an equity-based exchange. So we have fixed income, we have ETFs. In fact, we're the second largest ETF market in Africa. We also have derivatives and other exchange-traded products that we offer. But one thing that I want to leave you with is really the fact that the NGX facilitates capital raise. It's not a fluke. We have technology to do that. We also have the market infrastructure to do that. So year to date, we've been able to facilitate 5.7 trillion naira across different asset classes. And I don't think what the banks are looking for is anywhere near that. And if you think about the strong secondary market capability that we have, so it's not just about investing in Zenith. When you do want to sell your shares, will you be able to sell it? Will there be liquidity? The market has enough liquidity. As of Friday, the market has traded over $1 billion. That's about 1.6 trillion. So there's a strong secondary market behind what the NGX does. And if you look at the configuration of the trading structure that we have, before the elections, we had 4% international and over 96%, just 96% of domestic. But as at Friday, I'm happy to announce that the figure has improved significantly because of all the many things that are going on in our economy. So today we have 21% international and 79% domestic. And I think it's probably viable for the corporate comms of Zenith. So if you think about the 21% international, where are they coming from? 44% is coming from South Africa. 9% is coming from, 7% is coming from Mauritius, 22% is coming from the UK, and 20% is coming from US. 4% is from Norway. Who would have thought? But Nigeria remains a very viable destination for these internationals that invest in our market. And the last piece I will leave you with is really on X Academy, and I'll really employ Zenith to look into that as well. Because the X Academy is one of those many things that NGS does to improve investor education, financial literacy. And I must thank Zenith Bank for joining with us in our X Lead program, which is really geared towards financial literacy, catching them young, going to youth service camps across the country, just trying to promote investment in the capital market. So it's not a surprise to me when the GMD of Zenith said that they have they've grown from 5 million to 33 million, because it's really something that obviously is in their DNA, and I thank you so much for collaborating with us in that respect. So they said 42% of their profit is coming from their retail play, so it's not a surprise. That figure, 42%, represents the figure of domestic retail investors in our market. So it used to be around 25%, but it's grown. Thanks to Zenith for all the many works that we have been doing along the lines of improved investor education and financial literacy. So the last piece is really around what should you now do next? I think the question, based on what we've heard today, has already answered itself. So thank you so much for coming. I'd like to also use this opportunity to thank my colleagues in the corporate communication teams, primary market team, who have worked tirelessly to ensure that we have a very seamless afternoon this period. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jude Chairmaker. Good to see that the NGX is a pioneer in itself, charting new territory in this market. Now we're going to move to our vote of thanks to be given by none other than the one and only doyen of the market, Alhaji Rashid Yusuf. A round of applause for him. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I've been listening for quite a while to a very exciting presentation by none other than the female managing director of Zenith. In stockbroking, with regard to our female colleagues as citizens, we don't discriminate whether you're a woman or not. We say you're a citizen once you're a broker, you're a broker. I believe the bankers will have to learn from us and do the same thing, because women in banking are now taking over banking market as a whole. And they are coming very strongly, very persuasive, and also strongly fighting for their own share of the market. I therefore want to thank you, Madam, for a very exciting, informative, and very reassuring presentation you made about your company. We have noted a very exciting, comparative, and supportive information and indices you have given about your company. The community, that is the stockbroking community, has very well represented here. And I also say, when we ask you to come and do this presentation, you are doing the presentation to a combined community of stockbrokers, shareholders, researchers, and some other interested parties. So what that means is that it's a cross-section of the whole of the capital market, and the people that you really will want to buy your shares that are represented here. And the kind of reception that you have received this afternoon should give you an indication that you have done a very good job. Therefore, you should go back home today quite happy that the community as a whole will support your offer, because you have given a very good historical and prospective reason for broking community and investors in general to have more trust in you and put in more of their money into your company. You have also promised us that whatever you have done in the past that we have cherished is just the beginning, that you are going to even do better, and we'll hold you to your word. Also, Madam, I listened to you and were very excited about what you have done, what you have said, all the things that the superlative you have said about your company. But we don't want it to be limited to only when you want to come out to raise money. We want you to have more relationship with us, like you have done today. We want you to come here on a regular basis. Don't come only when you need us. Come when you have story to tell. And you will always have story to tell. And that's why we have called this forum Facts Behind the Figure, which is open to people like you and companies like yourself. Come and share your prospect with the broker. Come and tell us what your challenges are. Come and tell us what your plans are, so that it can be adequately reflected in the pricing that the brokers are going to put on your stock. If you do that, then we will be reflecting the value of your company more appropriately than we have done in the past. We don't want to reflect your value based on historical information we have. Want to do it with historical one and not today one. Like I said, value pricing on the exchange is determined by three major factors. The published account you give to us on a periodic basis, then the comparative, the corporate information like you give today, also to update those. But where you don't give us all of those two on a timely basis, then you open yourself to what we call public hearsay, in which case rumor mongering take over. And if your pricing are done on the basis of rumor mongering, it can go either way, but we don't think you would like it to go on a negative way. So that's why we say, come here on a quarterly basis, if not quarterly basis, half a year basis, meet with the broker, meet with the community as a whole, tell us what you are doing, tell us the challenges you are facing, and tell you how you are managing to overcome those challenges, and carry us along. So that don't wait until another 2 or 3, 4, 5 years when you need to come and tap the market. Then you come and tell us all the beautiful story they have told today. Make it a regular storytelling. Thank you for coming. We appreciate what you have said.
Thank you very much, Alhaji Rashid Yusuf, for those words. We've taken note of them. And I'm sure we've all had a very good afternoon listening here. We've come to the end of the program now, but just to let you know what is going to happen, we'll take the national anthem, and immediately after that, there'll be a group photograph of the people seated, the management teams of the NGX and Zenith Bank seated on the high table. After that, the room will exit, and then the management will follow. So can we please rise for the national anthem? Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good afternoon. So if I can just ask the management teams to please hold whilst we take a group photo. Thank you.